Opportunity cost. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 285 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and welcome to the second and last episode of The Weekend Drop, the shorter version of the Shower Podcast, where in just a few minutes, we dive into an idea you can carry into your week. Before we start, as usual, if you end up liking this episode, remember that liking and subscribing really mean a lot for me. They're just one click, but they really make the difference. Thank you very much for considering it. Today, we're talking about a concept that sounds simple, but like the previous one, quietly shapes every single decision you make. Opportunity cost. Economists define it as the value of the best alternative you give up when you make a choice. And the interesting bit that again shares a pattern with the previous episode, it's that this is not just about money. It's about time, attention, relationships, and even identity. Every yes you say carries with it a no to something else, whether you see it or not. And here's the catch. Most people never stop to calculate that price. Behavioral economists have long shown that humans are wired to focus on immediate outcomes. We see what we're getting, but not what we're losing. But once you start seeing the invisible cost of your decisions, everything about what you choose begins to change. The reason opportunity cost is so powerful is precisely because we are terrible at noticing it. A classic 2006 study from Yale found that when participants were presented with two simple choices, buying a product or keeping the money, most completely ignored the second option. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman, who won a Nobel Prize for his work on decision making, called this narrow framing. We zoom in on the option in front of us and forget to weigh what we're sacrificing. It's why people overcommit to social plans they don't care about or accept projects they don't have time for. The unseen cost, rest, focus, time with loved ones, rarely enters the calculation. And yet, those costs are often far more valuable. Recognizing this bias is the first step to better decision making. Whenever you say yes to something, you're automatically saying no to something else. The question is, are you okay with what you're saying no to? Money isn't the most important form of opportunity cost. Time is. And unlike money, once it's spent, you can't get it back. Researchers at the University of Chicago found that people consistently underestimate the value of their time when making decisions, leading them to overcommit to low-impact tasks. Think of how many hours disappear to meetings that don't matter, scrolling that doesn't satisfy, or favors that drain your energy. Each one might feel small, but collectively they crowd out the meaningful work, the hobbies you never start, or the relationships you don't nurture. The real cost of yes is often invisible. It's the book you never write, the business you never launch, the weekend you never spent with your family. And once you frame time as the scarce resource it truly is, you start treating it with the respect it deserves. One of the hardest lessons in adulthood is realizing that no, it's not a rejection, it's a decision. Every high performer you admire is ruthless with their yeses. Warren Buffett famously said, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. They understand that opportunity cost is not about regret, it's about clarity. Saying no to distractions means saying yes to depth. Saying no to shallow obligations means saying yes to relationships that matter. The goal isn't to eliminate all commitments, it's to make sure that the ones you accept are worth the trade. And the more conscious you become about those trades, the more your life starts to align with what you truly value. So, here's your challenge to start the week with. Audit your yeses. Look back at your calendar, your projects, even your social commitments, and ask yourself, what did I trade this for? If the answer doesn't feel worth it, use that insight to guide your next decision. Because the truth is, every yes writes a story, and every no does too. The life you end up living isn't built by what you accept, but by what you're willing to sacrifice. Opportunity cost is happening whether you acknowledge it or not. So you might as well make it work for you. That was all for today. Thank you very much for listening. Bit of a longer episode of the Weekend Drop, but this is a topic that I'm absolutely fascinated and I really have close to my heart, so I felt like it needed a bit more time. If you made it so far, congratulations and thank you very much. Feel free to interact with this content in any way, shape, or form. If you liked it, share it with people that you know that might not be aware of opportunity cost. And until the next one, stay consistent, stay resilient. This was the Shower Podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow.